EBC plan angers PM rally, asking returning officers about political affiliation unacceptable. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has slammed the Elections and Boundaries Commission for a plan to ask returning officers to declare their political allegiance in order to qualify for these positions in future elections. However, the EBC has stated that it obtained legal advice confirming it can ask applicants for the position of returning officers to declare whether they are members of a political party. This, after Rowley and leaders of other political parties slammed statements by EBC Chairman Mark Ramkreising that returning officers will be asked to declare their party allegiance and membership before working in polling stations. Ramkreising made the comments on Tuesday at a training session on general election coverage for reporters hosted by the TNT Publishers and Broadcasters Association, TTPBA, Media Institute of the Caribbean and British Council. But for once on an issue, the People's National Movement and heads of opposition entities were on the same page. Taking to his Facebook page, Rowley said, "The position of the EBC to question EBC staff about their vote is absolutely unacceptable. The vote in this country is secret and no person in public employment must be forced to reveal how he or she voted or intend to vote." He added, "Returning officers are not to comply with this strange and disturbing development at the EBC. The PNM, which has not been consulted on this matter, is resolutely opposed to this unnecessary and possibly illegal action." Where did this come from? However, in a statement yesterday evening, the EBC issued a statement clarifying Ramkreising's statement and its position. It said, "The Commission would like to clarify that recent media reports suggesting that the EBC is asking returning officers to declare their political allegiance are misleading and inaccurate." The EBC explained that during Tuesday's media workshop, Ramkreising addressed a question raised about potential political affiliations of returning officers. The EBC has received allegations from various political parties about returning officers being members of political parties. To address these concerns and safeguard the integrity of the electoral process, the Commission sought legal advice on requiring applicants for the position of returning officer to declare whether they are a member of a political party. The legal opinion confirmed that such an inquiry is both advisable and lawful. It distinguishes between declaring whether one is a member of a political party and disclosing voting preferences, which is protected by the principle of secret ballot. Membership in a political party implies a level of allegiance or affiliation that could potentially create the perception of bias or apparent bias. The EBC emphasizes its commitment to impartiality and transparency in the electoral process. Requiring applicants to declare their membership is a proactive step to mitigate potential conflicts of interest and maintain public confidence in the electoral system. The focus remains on ensuring that the electoral process is free, fair, and credible. UNC leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar didn't respond to calls yesterday. But UNC Chairman Dave Tanku said, "There are obvious constitutional issues involved in asking for or making employment decisions based on people's political associations." On EBC's subsequent statement, Tanku added, "Questions emerge. Is the EBC going to hire or deny employment to someone solely on the basis of party membership? Would the executive management and commissioners be held to the same yardstick? Who is the lawyer used by the EBC and at what cost?" One recalls an action taken by the EBC on an election day that was determined in the court to be illegal. Bad moves, say Hope and TA leaders. Hope Deputy Leader Timothy Hamelsmith said he didn't see the EBC's move regarding returning officers declaring their political allegiance as a good one and agreed with the Prime Minister. "It's a terrible decision. It can open the door to a lot of complications. What happens if they declare their interest and a party that lost takes the issues to court? Would the courts infer that the RO wasn't as objective as they should have been?" He added, "It's a recipe for trouble. We already have politics divided by race. People assuming Afro-T and T citizens are for PNM and Indo-T and T1 support UNC. Where the issue is related to democracy, your vote is secret, private, anonymous. Voting is a basic fundamental right allowed under the Constitution. If you impose on the RO the need to declare their interest to a party, wouldn't that breach their right to entitlement of a secret, private vote? Hamel-Smith said EBC's clarification raised more questions than answers, since the clarification only referenced asking an applicant for the post of returning officer whether they belong to a party, and it stated that persons who do will not be engaged. He said EBC should rather allow parties to have more oversight in the process. NTA leader Gary Griffiths said the move poses significant risks to citizens' constitutional rights and doesn't effectively address the core issues of electoral integrity and impartiality. He said holding a political belief does not inherently lead to bias or misconduct in fulfilling one's duties, and asking ROs to declare their political allegiances is unlikely to solve concerns about impartiality in the electoral process. Following EBC's clarification yesterday, Griffiths said he understood the Commission is trying to ensure impartiality and prevent bias, but felt they were going about it the wrong way. The only way the EBC will know if someone is a party member is if they get the data from the political parties, and obviously, no party will give the EBC their registered membership list. That's confidential, he said. Griffiths said the best way to ensure transparency in the voting process is bringing in independent observers and to have electronic systems which could detect rigging. Analyst: let's be clear on what was said. Political analyst Dr. Bishnu Raghunath said he attended Tuesday's media workshop when EBC chairman Mark Ramkrisinga's statement was made. Raghunath said one should be clear on what was said and what's suggested, noting what was said was that returning officers are going to be required to declare whether they are members of any political party. It didn't say who you're voting for. It just said if you're a registered member of a political party, Raghunath added. He said what wasn't said is if the information would be in the public domain or kept private by the EBC. Raghunath said the EBC chairman didn't say in the forum why he decided to go down that road. He said there are several examples of possible reasons that could cause it. That included the Venezuelan election, problems with Guyana's elections, and complaints in TNT in the past by some on getting registered as a candidate.